How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, I gotta tell you, I love what is happening here with this collaboration because I grew up in an age where collaborating was like, oh well, this record label won't let them do this, they can't do this. But you guys have stepped through, and really, brought something to the people who want to hear street speak.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, and it's the cool thing is like you just said, kind of stepping over labels and stuff like that. Very fortunate that you get to a certain level where you're able to work and you're able to kind of like push through all of that because you've worked with a lot of people and had the ability to do that. And then plus too, I mean, it's 2022. There's a lot of things that go on now that the labels don't really necessarily control anymore.
Yeah. What is it like? What is it like, though, to be in the studio to have such a new age of freedom? Because, I mean, there are people, 10 years ago that would have died to have what you've got now.
It's crazy in the sense that for me, I mean, I have an insane recording studio above my garage. So I'm like super analog gear guy. So, I mean, I have my Neve BCM console along with all these like vintage LA 2As, 1170, not to go too deep in the weeds. But, and then I combine that with AI music, like from Boomy.com, and then playing guitar, bass, throwing it in with all this new stuff. So for me, kind of like smashing genres together is what I love to do. And then being able to pull in somebody like Cubs to be on the song along with Stunna. Like you said, you couldn't do stuff like that 10 years ago without 19 committee meetings and, all of this lunacy. So it's cool to just kind of like push through it.
Now, Cubs, what is it like for you? Because I mean, in the way that there's always, I always say, before there's a tree, there's a seed, there's water. So I mean, but let's talk about the seed and the water. DaBaby is a huge figure here in Charlotte because he loves this community.
Yep.
And so
and then for me, I mean, I'm there too. So I mean, I live in Charlotte as well. So I mean, that is one of the impetuses for me to bring in Stunna on this because, I mean, he was born in Salisbury. There's two things with Stunna that I love. Besides being a great artist, he's born in Salisbury and his cousin's a Philadelphia Eagle. So his cousin, John Harper, has a tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm a diehard Eagles fan outside of the Panthers. That's right. DaBaby has definitely, put Charlotte on the map there, which is fantastic.
Coming from Salisbury, I mean, only great things come from Salisbury because that's where Krispy Kreme got their start. So it's you come on now.
Oh, yeah. Enough said.
Right.
So before any song makes its way into a recording studio, every artist has got to ask the question, why? Why is this the song I'm feeling? Why did I write this? What is the journey that I envisioned? What was it that you guys did in answering why?
So for me, the genesis of it was just kind of, living the last couple of years under COVID and the pandemic. Everything felt very surreal. So that was kind of the impetus of this. So that's why I pulled in the AI music beat to be part of it because that's not reality, so to speak. And then being able to kind of like cross-pollinate between Cubs indie pop and Stunna, these different genres, and then having Cubs be able to write such a great hook that put it all together, was able to say it. That for me was the end result. I think is fantastic. Feel truly blessed for that.
See, and it's that hook that sits there and makes you go back to repeat. And the thing is that's what this song here really allows me to take my time because I feel like there's a lot of Easter eggs in the lyrics, and I go back and I pick up on something new each time.
Yeah. That's great. That's what you want to do as a songwriter. I mean, you want to obviously hook people in right away, but mask something deeper and something more thought-provoking within very kind of basic rudimentary lyrics that appeal to everybody. But that's the thing, like all the music I've fallen in love with has been music that I've listened to over a span of time, and it's grown on me, and it causes revelations later, and I wake up thinking about a lyric or whatever. I mean, it's hard to do, but I mean, if you can kind of plant those seeds in people's heads, then they're lifelong listeners, man.
The two of you, when do you get sleep? Because, creative minds never go to sleep.
I never sleep, man.
Yeah.
I've also got, and he has a baby.
I have an infant, so I don't sleep at all. But as far as like creativity, man, like it's weird. 11 o'clock at night, between 11 and 3, that's when I'm the most creative.
Yep.
So, I'm like, that's just like when my my genius turns on for a very short amount of time. And so, you know, when I can catch that, that's like when all the truest and most real music comes to me, lyrically at least.
Yeah, and for me, I end up having my little writing guitar by my side always, and I probably write about 5 or 6 songs a day, and just kind of sit there and do it very Bob Dylan existential like, where I just kind of play and sing.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's how I know what my brain is thinking about. I go back and look at my lyrics, and it's like, oh wow, yeah, that's exactly what's on my mind right now. But said in a cool way.
So do you live the lifestyle? Because as a writer, I'm a daily writer, and I always tell myself this is not for me. So I always do a little thing called Dear Future Reader. Or do you guys play Dear Future Listener?
I don't.
No, what is that?
It basically what you're doing is that even though that song is given to you in this moment of now, it's not for the now. It's going to grow in a different place. It's going to find a field. It could be 5 years from now. It could be 5 days from now. Before, you know, I mean, because how long did it really take this song, This Isn't Real Life, to come into action?
So for me, I mean, the original idea of this was sometime last year. So I put the music on it, and I didn't write any lyrics on this one. This was all just pure music, and I just kind of set it aside. To your point, you never know when the song's when it's gonna happen. I mean, I have songs that I wrote 20 years ago. I have songs that I wrote 2 minutes ago, and you never know which one's going to be the one that hits. You know, my song "Hardworking Man." I put out in 2020, and it was like number 25 on the rock charts. But now it was redone by the Avila Brothers, Snoop Dogg, and Billy Ray Cyrus, and it's on NFL Prime. So who would have ever thought now would be the time? And I originally worked on that song in 2015.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I might add, I'd like to say, like, even with songwriting, it's the same thing, man. Like, I'll write a song in 2017 and, you know, just creating a situation in my mind, and then 2 years later, it'll happen. Yeah. Florence Welch called this useless magic, because it's like you can tell the future, but only in the past. So you can't really do anything about it. But so much of my life, I look back and I realize that the stuff I was singing about years ago, you know, came to fruition, and it's pretty wild. I mean, maybe that's manifest destiny or whatever, but probably, yeah, it's wild.
Mike, you going to put this on a live stage here in Charlotte anytime soon? I mean, it's got to happen.
It'd be really cool to do, man. It's locking these guys down with their schedules.
Yeah.
Cubs is going all over the world right now, and then Stunna's always doing something.
I call that living a Google Calendar lifestyle. It's like, okay, if I've got 25 minutes here, I'm putting it in there. I'm going to find something to do every second of every day.
That's right. Life in the music biz.
Yeah,
so true. Well, congratulations on this, and I expect to hear from you guys many more times in the future, because this collaboration isn't over. It's just the beginning. It's like welcome to the first step of your brand new beginning.
I really appreciate that.
Love it,
Thank
man.
you so much.
Thank you.
Be brilliant today, you two. Okay,
Brian.
We're on it.
Got coffee.
All right, bye.
Thanks, man.